Preparation meeting with parent. The I want to say something tool can be used to integrate family voice into the parent's planning and their family team meetings. Meet with the youth's caregiver in a private space and explain that the goal is to make sure that their voice is prioritized in the planning process. The tool provides a structure for an important conversation with the caregiver about who they want to be part of their planning and about what they feel is going well, what worries they have, and what they hope will happen. It is often helpful for the person meeting with the caregiver to write out the tool for them. The tool also helps identify the family's strengths, challenges, and needs. It's important to clarify with the caregiver that both natural and paid supports are important in co-creating a successful plan. Tools should be shared strategically with other team members and/or during family team meetings to encourage open communication and increase understanding of the caregiver's perspective. The caregiver can use the tool to remember what they want to share during the meeting, and it can be used to co-create an agenda for the meeting.
Hi, Maggie. How are you today?
Hi, I'm okay. Hanging in there.
It's been a long couple of weeks for Katie and your family, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I know you've been really busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time to meet today. We have a family team meeting coming up, and I really appreciated the time to sit down with you and just think about sort of what you and your family would like to make sure gets discussed in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And just to get a little bit more information from you, I often use a tool with families to get ready for these meetings. It's a really simple one page. I have a copy for you, and I'm happy to write while we talk. Mm-hmm. It's called I Want to Say Something. Mm-hmm. And you can see it's super simple. It's like 6 questions, but I think it's really helpful because there's so much going on. And this has a nice structure to help us figure out what is really important for you that we talk about at this meeting and for Katie. And so if that's okay, we can go ahead and use this.
Sure.
All right. So the first question is really, what does the team need to know about you and about Katie and about your whole family in order to make a really good plan that's going to be successful?
Well, I think the first thing is that we love each other.
I have seen that.
Yeah. That we are absolutely terrified about what Katie has been doing, and it was totally unexpected. It was devastating. We want to make sure that we're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And but we're not sure what that is because Katie won't say why she's doing this. I mean, she just says, I don't know.
That's
and so we don't know if it's something that we've done or that we're not doing, or we're I know that a lot of the talk and apparently part of the purpose of the meeting is to have her come back home, and we don't feel like, not knowing even what has prompted her to do this, we don't know how we can keep her safe. So I don't feel comfortable with her coming home because we don't know what we need to do to prevent this from happening again. So that's sort of like where we're at. Like we're very scared. Very scared.
I can imagine. And it is so clear how much you love your daughter, and the thought of her hurting herself again would be so scary. And my hope is that if we can be pretty specific about what some of those fears are, that as a team we can come up with a way where you do feel comfortable, you feel like you're supported, and you feel like Katie has what she needs in order to start keeping herself safe. And this will actually really help us a lot because nobody knows Katie better than you and Juan. And we'll need a lot of your help and information to really come up with a good plan for her. And so when we think about your family and Katie, and also what you and Juan will need for support, what are the things that you feel like are going well right now?
Well, it's interesting because throughout everything, she seems to be doing well in school. Like academically, I don't know how she does it. I'm a teacher, so I don't know how she can do well in school while she's thinking of hurting herself and not being here. But that's one thing that she has.
That's a real strength. There's got to be some future-oriented thinking in there if she still makes an effort at school.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a strength. Is there anything else that you feel like is going well right now?
Well, I think that, my, Juan and Lexi and I, we're all, really feeling this together and really wanting to see what we can do for Katie, and my, our extended families are supportive of us. So
helpful.
Yeah. So I would say that those are things that are going well.
Yeah. It's really important to be able to talk as a family and feel that support.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that that's going well. And how is Lexi doing? She's doing all right so far?
She's doing all right. She's a teenager and an older teenager. So sometimes it's like, she's like annoyed by how much, how this is like the topic of conversation all the time. And, but she's okay. I mean, she cares about her sister and is also upset that Katie's not, sharing what's going on.
Absolutely. And it may be that Katie herself doesn't fully understand her behavior right now. But it's frustrating for siblings. And is that something that you would say is a worry for you right now, sort of how Lexi does with all of this other stuff going on? And
it is. And I feel like, honestly, I'm so worried about Katie that my focus has been on her and trying to balance, work and, all that stuff. So I would say that, attention to Lexi's individual stuff hasn't been quite there. So,
yeah, it is an awful lot to balance, especially when you have more than one child and you're working and doing a lot. So what are the biggest worries for you right now?
My biggest worry is that she will try to kill herself again. That is like the thing that it's above everything else and
absolutely
keeps me up at night.
All right. And what other worries underneath that? Because that is a huge worry. Are there any other things that are sort of really worrying right now?
It all relates to it. It's like, how can I continue to pay attention to her, which seems like it would have to be like what she has now at the hospital, which is a 24-hour people watching. And I would have to quit my job in order to be able to do that. And, it's hard as a teacher to take time off.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I work in an office and somebody else can do my work, so I'm at work, people are nice and supportive, but at the same time, parents are wondering, why am I out? And this is not exactly the thing that you share with everybody. And it's just,
That's also hard.
yeah, yeah.
And I can imagine it's a lot trying to weigh what Katie needs. And you have, I'm sure, many little guys that are also depending on you. And that's hard stuff. So I think that's a really helpful concern to know is what sort of monitoring will Katie need if she does come home, and what does that look like? And what support you would have, because it sounds like your job's really important to you.
Well, we
and
need
to be
it
able
to survive.
Absolutely.
It's like,
yeah.
yeah.
And then are there any other worries that you have right now?
I can't even think beyond that, to be honest with you. I think that's central.
And then this one is a little more longer term too, this question, but both at this meeting and sort of as you think about the next year, what do you hope will happen with Katie and with your family?
I mean, what pops into my head is go back to normal, but I know that's, once this has happened, it's not going to go to the same. But that she can figure out what she needs to not feel this way, and that she can get the treatment that she needs, that we know what to do and what not to do to support her. So that this is like a one-time thing that doesn't happen again.
Absolutely. And is there anything else that you hope will happen, either specifically at this meeting or in the future with Katie?
Well, I think that if she could, if she's, started feeling this way again, that she would be able to let somebody know. And, there's a part of me that says, if she doesn't want to come to me or to one, she could go to my sister Marta, or she could go to, somebody who could, that somebody would know that she's going down that path, and that we can do whatever we need to do so that she doesn't get to that point again. That
Absolutely.
Would be helpful.
I think that is actually a really wonderful idea that we should talk about at the meeting, because of course we're going to have to talk about safety planning for Katie, and that would be such a natural way for her to reach out. And so it's really important that she will be able to reach out to someone before things get to a point where she's actually going to harm herself or try to kill herself. Okay. And so it sounds like the team will have to work hard to make sure that at the meeting we do come up with a plan that addresses that. Do you think your sister would be comfortable with Katie reaching out to her?
Yeah, they're close.
All right. And then are there any other specific things that I should make sure that the team discusses at this meeting?
I think it's important for them to know that unless, it can be assured that there's a way that we know what to do, and that it doesn't require that 24/7 observation and all that I don't feel comfortable with her coming home. I think it's too soon, and I don't see things resolved to the point that I would feel comfortable with her coming home like soon. So that to me is the main thing. Like, it's like, I don't feel that it's going to be safe to just, in 2 weeks or 3, whatever, to have her come back home.
Okay. So I want to make sure that I have this exactly what you would like to be discussed, so that basically, unless you are assured that you know what to do and that Katie is in a safer space, that you're really not comfortable with her coming home yet, and that the family does not have the ability to provide sort of 24/7 supervision, if that's what the team feels like she needs in order to be safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because she has it now, so it's hard for the people that are in a setting where she's getting the 24/7 to judge whether she's going to be okay if she doesn't have 24/7, like, so
Absolutely.
it's like, I'm not willing to take that risk.
Yeah, I think, one thing that's really hard is it's probably going to feel risky whenever she comes home, because that was just such a scary thing to have happen. But we can work together to try to come up with the best possible plan, and we'll have all of the supports and providers there, and we'll make sure that your voice and Katie's voice is really the priority at this meeting. So it'll be next week. I've sent you the time and the details.
Yeah.
And if you think of anything else in between now and then, please feel free to reach out to me and I can add to this. And I'm going to have a copy there for you at the meeting. Sometimes when everyone's in the room, can be a little nerve-wracking to think about what you want to say. So honestly, for me as well, having this is really helpful, and hopefully it will be helpful to you. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this with me today, and I will see you next week. But reach out before then if you think of anything else.
Okay.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
You take care.
Thanks.